Hey guys, welcome to our channel Cracking Dentistry. We are going to discuss the last part of digital radiography in today's video. And as a part of the previous video's discussion, we are going to see the answers for the pop quiz. So we asked you to guess the different imaging systems from the picture that was given. So you can see that the first one is an example of a conventional intraoral periapical radiographic film. The second one, I hope you are able to notice the metal disc. So this shows that it is a PSP plate. The third and the fourth one are the intraoral solid state detectors, wired and the wireless form basically. So as we all know, the solid state detectors is going to include the CCD, CMOS and FPD. FPD is mostly used for extraoral imaging purposes only. So CCD and CMOS, they don't differ structurally, but the way in which it is analyzed makes the difference. So the first one is example of a wired CCD detector, and the last one is a wireless CMOS detector. Alright, so moving on to today's discussion. First thing is about the digital detector characteristics. Basically, there are many textbook references that give you a lot of information. So we are just going to discuss a gist or in brief about what is what. Okay, so when it comes to digital detectors, we should remember four main characteristics or four main properties. The first is the contrast resolution, second is the spatial resolution, third is the detector latitude, and the last one is the detector sensitivity. Alright, so first one, the contrast resolution. Basically, contrast resolution is the ability to distinguish different densities. That is, the different shades of grey is available, right, in the final radiographic image. The ability of the sensor to detect these subtle differences, the ability of the electronic display system to exhibit these different levels of grey, and lastly, the ability of the observer to detect these different grey levels. Okay, this is about the contrast resolution. So basically, if you see the current digital detectors, they will capture data at different bits, that is 8, 10, 12 and 16 bits. Okay, the bit depth is in the power of 2. So we have to understand that if it is the power of 2 means, if it is 8 bit means 2 to the power of 8. So it is 256. It will give you 256 different levels of grey. And if it is 16 bit means it will give you 2 to the power of 16. That is around like 65,536 different shades of grey. But basically the human eye, it can detect only 60 levels of grey. So it is going to vary, right? This is about the contrast resolution, okay? The key points that you have to remember here. The next one is the spatial resolution. Spatial resolution means the ability to distinguish the fine details in an image. So when there are two closely placed objects, if you're able to appreciate the subtle difference, or if you're able to see it as two different objects when you zoom into an image, this is the spatial resolution. So when we consider these digital imaging systems, right, when it comes to the solid state digital imaging systems, this resolution will be determined by the pixel size. So the smaller the pixel size, the higher the resolution. When it comes to the PSP systems, this will be dependent, that is, the resolution will be dependent on the thickness of the phosphor material. So thicker the phosphor layers, the more diffusion, and it will yield a lower resolution. So the thickness of the phosphor material is going to be inversely proportional to your resolution. So this is the thing that we have to remember when it comes to the spatial resolution. The third property is the detector latitude. Okay, so the detector latitude means the ability of the sensor to capture a range of X-ray exposures, that is from the lighter shade to a darker one. Okay, it will give you a range of X-ray exposure from the low photons to the high energy photons. All right, so moving on to the last one, that is detector sensitivity. Detector sensitivity or speed of the sensor is the ability of it to respond to even the smallest amount of radiation. So I hope you all know what is the speed of a film, right? The speed of a film means the amount of exposure that is required to produce a final radiographic image. So we all know, right, the f-speed film, it requires only less amount of exposure, so it is very safe for the patient according to the ALARA principle. Similarly, when it comes to the digital radiographic systems, the solid state detectors, that is the CCD and the CMOS, they require very low exposure when compared to a PSP system or a X-ray film. Okay, so basically this is very safe for the patient. So that's why it will be recommended to an extent even to the pregnant patient. But it becomes questionable because of the risk versus benefit. So in a pregnant patient, we take x-rays only when it is necessary, and the point that we have to remember here is the CCD and the CMOS sensors are very safe when compared to the intraoral periapical radiographic films or a PSP plate system. Alright, so once that you have taken an image, the second thing will be viewing it, right? So there are several modes in which you can view your digital image. The first thing will be as a soft copy, that is the electronic displays using an LCD or an LED screen. You can actually modify the image using image software systems, and then you can zoom in and zoom out, and then you can view it in your electronic display. The next one will be as a hard copy, either as films. It can be either printed as films or printed as images over the plain paper. You have printers according to your purpose. Film printers are also available and paper printers. But in common use, when we see, the paper printers will slightly compromise the diagnostic quality because the image is not produced as such. Fine detailing of the image gets missed out when it is printed on a plain paper. So the film printers are preferred over paper printers. Alright, so this is about digital image viewing. Moving on to the next part. So first thing is about the image processing. Okay, image processing. Now that you have tried to view the image, when it comes to digital imaging, we saw that over the conventional films, the image processing is actually easy here. You need not do the manual processing methods and all. The computer or the management softwares are going to take care of everything. So image processing basically will include the adjustment of the raw data, and then according to your perception, and it will improve the diagnostic quality of the image to analyze the contents in a better way. This will also help you to improve, restore, analyze, and also change the digital image to a better extent. The biggest advantage of digital image is that even if it is exposed to overexposure or underexposure, we don't see any irregularities in the final image, because the image software systems will have automatic data leveling that will give you a improved final radiographic image. So this is about image processing. The next is image restoration. Image restoration is when the raw image data enters the computer. This is not ready for storage or for viewing. So there are certain pre-processing steps that will take place, and it will remove all the known defects, adjust the image intensities, and then it will give you the final image suitable for viewing. So this is about image restoration. Okay, so the next one is the image enhancement. Image enhancement, basically it implies the adjusted image or an improved version of the original one. So this includes the increasing the contrast or optimizing the brightness, reducing the noise in the image, and this can also be task specific. Okay, like but this image enhancement, when it becomes task specific, we should know that if one diagnostic task is getting benefited, the other one might get degraded. For example, if we try to increase the contrast between the enamel and dentin to view the carious part in a better way, this is going to compromise the detection of the alveolar bone defects. So if one task is getting enhanced, the other one will get degraded. This is another drawback of the image enhancement systems. So under that, we should know about the brightness and the contrast. So this brightness and the contrast adjustments will improve the diagnostic quality of the image, and these software systems also produce this histogram levels which will help you to adjust according to your perception and view it in a better way. So one more thing that we have to remember here is that there are two features: contrast inversion, and the other one is the histogram equalization. Basically, histogram equalization will increase the contrast between the image intensity, and it will reduce the contrast that is used only sparsely. Contrast inversion means it is the conversion of the radiographic positive image into a negative image. So these are the key features that are used in the digital imaging software system. Alright. So about the next one, sharpening and smoothing. Sharpening and smoothing basically is to improve the image quality by removing the blurring or the radiographic noise. The other thing that we have to remember here is a key point called as speckling. Okay, speckling is a special type of high frequency noise that will be characterized by isolated small regions surrounded by lighter or darker regions. There are filters that are available in the management software systems that will smooth the image, and sometimes these are called as noise or despeckling filters. Okay. The next one is the color. The digital imaging systems usually are in black and white, that is the grayscale viewing, right? This can also be viewed as color systems, and these softwares will impart colors to the gray images, and this is also called as pseudo coloring. Okay, this can enhance the diagnostic quality if the colors are specific to the specific region. Like if the enamel or the dentin are given a specific color, then probably we will be able to appreciate the defects more easily. Development of such criteria will become complex, so manufacturers are still working on those tasks. Alright, so about the next one, digital subtraction radiography. This thing is a quite commonly used technique. Basically, when two images of the same object are registered and the image intensities of the corresponding pixels are subtracted, then a uniform difference of the image will be produced. Okay, so you're going to overlap. For example, okay, if a patient is coming with a bone defect in the first visit, you are taking a radiographic image and then you're treating the patient for it. Later on, you're taking another image after treatment. So when you overlap these two images, the difference in the bone levels will be clearly seen or appreciated based on the image intensity. This is possible with the digital subtraction radiography system. Okay, so this will be more useful as in the case of periodontology, or even in case of orthodontics. It will cancel out the complex anatomic background and it will give you what is needed. Okay, the specific task assigned will be enhanced in the final radiographic image as in the case of digital subtraction radiography. It's going to improve the diagnostic quality of the image. Alright, so moving on to the next one, that is the image analysis. Now that you have produced the image, you have viewed it, you have processed it, the next one is going to be image analysis, right? So image analysis, there are many analysis tools that are provided by the manufacturer itself in the software systems. So the one thing most important is the calibration systems. Okay, there are rulers and even angulation devices that helps you to accurately measure the various aspects in your radiographic image. This will be more useful in case of actually in various fields of dentistry. In case of periodontology, if you see that you can measure the bone levels. In case of implantology, you will be able to measure the remaining bone that is available for the placement of implants, and also the angulation of the implants can also be measured. Apart from that, it can be used in orthodontics and various other fields as well. So when it comes to the diagnosis, the software systems, these can also auto detect the image in the early stage of diagnosis. But this becomes complex, and there are research still going on for this auto detection process to enhance the quality of these digital radiography. Alright, so now that we have seen the image, processed the image, analyze the image, the next thing will be image storage, right? So the most common format in which it will be stored is the DICOM, that is the digital imaging communication in medicine, DICOM format. This is the standard adopted JPEG or TIFF format. TIFF means tagged image file format. JPEG means joint photographic experts group. Okay, so basically the image will be compressed. The compression basically is to reduce the size of the digital image files for archiving and also for transmission. Okay, so this compression methods basically involves two things or two techniques. Okay, lossless method and lossy method. From the name itself we can understand, right? Lossless means it is not going to discard any image data, and it will be just an exact copy of the image, and it will be reproduced after decompression. Lossy method, basically it is going to achieve a higher level of compression by discarding the image data, and it will slightly affect the diagnostic quality of the image also. So this is about the image storage. Now just analyzing the pros and cons of this digital imaging. We've come this far, so we're just analyzing it, the advantages and the disadvantages basically. So when it comes to the pros, we have four main points. First is the less radiation that is required when compared to the conventional radiographic imaging systems. Second is the image adjustments that can be done after you have acquired the image. This is not possible in the conventional ones, right? The third thing is the radiographic waste disposal that is completely absent as in the case of the digital imaging systems. And the last one, the processing is made very easy. There is no harsh chemicals that are being used here. It's just the computer software that is going to do the processing for you. Alright, so this is about the pros. And when it comes to the disadvantages or the cons, there are two things that we have to remember. First thing is, the initial setup is little bit expensive, and second thing, the sensors have to be handled with care. If there is any damage to the plates or the sensors, if it is not handled properly, then it can damage very easily, compromising your image quality. Alright, so moving on to the last part of the discussion about the artifacts. Artifacts are basically the compromised image quality because of various reasons, and it can be distorted in many ways. So we're just going to see about each one in detail. It can be because of it can lead to a production of a noisy image, production of a non-uniform image density, a distorted image, a double image, the damaged receptors that can lead to certain artifacts, the improper usage of image processing systems, and the effect of the image scanning resolution that can compromise on the diagnostic quality. Okay, so viewing each one in detail. Okay, the first one is a noisy image. A noisy image or a grainy image basically can be produced because of two main reasons: an underexposure or overexposure. Underexposure, as in case of the CCD, CMOS and PSP, everything in common, but overexposure is very common in case of PSP systems. When it is overexposed to ambient light prior to scanning, it will produce a grainy or a noisy image, as you can see in the second picture. Alright, a non-uniform image density. This is very common when the plates are overlapped during the light exposure. You can see that the image density is slightly compromised, so the image quality is also getting affected here, and a degraded image is produced. Distorted image. Distortions in the image basically can be caused because of bending of the sensors during the sensor placement. This is very common as in the case of posterior regions, the mandibular posteriors and the maxillary posteriors. This will compromise or degrade the image quality, and this will become difficult when you have to measure or analyze the structures for various diagnostic purposes. So this is about the distorted image artifact. The next one is double image production. Double image production is quite common in the case of PSP plates. So as we all know, the PSP plates have to be erased prior to the next exposure, right? If it is not done properly, then the incomplete eraser is going to produce a double imaging. The previous image that was recorded also is going to overlap over the current image that was taken. Alright, so about the next one, damaged image receptors. See, the image receptors can be damaged easily, like we discussed before, because of any scratching of the phosphor surface or excessive bending of the PSP plates. This can lead to artifacts that will mimic like the vital structures that are seen in the image, and this will confuse you with the diagnosis. The damage to image receptors can also be because of the use of disinfectants that are used to disinfect these sensor plates. Localized swelling of the protective coat will result in a circular artifact that you can see in the first picture, right? The second picture shows the localized swelling of the protective coat, and this is produced in your final image there. The exposure of the plate, overexposure of the plate to liquid disinfectants can also produce artifacts that can compromise the diagnostic quality of the images, and there can be damage to the protective coating and the phosphor layer because of excessive use of liquid disinfectants as well. So apart from sensor damage, the malfunctioning of the CCD sensors can also produce a compromised image. So for example, if you've dropped a CCD sensor after being exposed, this can lead to geometric artifact or geometric defects that will compromise your diagnostic quality. This can even lead to misinterpretation of your incoming data and give you a degraded image as well. Apart from that, as we saw earlier, the scanning systems as well as the image processing, if it is done improperly, these can also result in image artifacts, compromising your diagnostic quality. So this is all about digital radiography. If you have any queries, you can leave in the comments below. And please don't forget to like and share the video and subscribe to our channel for further updates. We'll come up with a new video soon. Alright, until then, read, listen and learn. Happy learning.